Well, the story she told me, Pops was sick. He was in hospice, and we knew he didn't have much time. And although we had him longer than we anticipated, and I said, Mom, what the hell are you doing? And finally Pops gave in. They went back and forth for about 5 years on the price, negotiating. And then about 8 months before he died, they decided to take the plunge. They did it. And I said, Mom, what are you doing? Because they have other properties. Well, she said, honey, Baba, our grandmother, lived till she was 100. That means I have 20 years. What the hell am I going to do for the next 20 years?
Need a hobby.
I need something to do. So this is it. Well, she said I have 20 years left to live because Baba lived that long. What the hell am I going to do?
I also think she just loves to have a place where people are around. Family, friends. I mean, this is a perfect example. You know, great party. And it's kind of like one of them big old slumber party.
Well, not only that, but she also, St. Mary's Church.
Go away.
At St. Mary's Church. She wanted to do something for the community. She's a huge advocate for the community. She's like, this is my home. I need something to do. Something needs to happen. This town is dying. I need to do something.
Well, it's her
so
passion.
She moved, right. Yeah. She's passionate.
Definitely unstoppable. Indomitable spirit, you know. She's energetic. She's, you know, I mean, the lady can move mountains, you know. I mean, you just come in and out of tower, you see the, you know, the St. Mary's Church, the cultural center, this place, you know. She's, you know, there's no stopping her. She's a tornado.
She's a force of nature. She and Alex were both forces of nature. But Mom, yeah, she's smart, she's headstrong, she's driven, you know, in what she wants.
She knows it. I mean, super smart. I mean, she knows a ton about history. So traveling with her is really fun. And I've done a lot of travel with her. I've done, double-digit trips with her. So to the Caribbean, to Europe. We just got back from France and Spain and Gibraltar. It was, you know, just incredible. So
he died young, and so Baba was just this driving force. I mean, she went back to school, got her degree at age 58 from the U of M, taught special ed. She ran a boarding house at the U of M campus. I mean, she was just a driving force.
Look at Mom taking a picture. What a goon. So Baba and Mom got that from Baba.
Go away!
Always welcoming people into her home, and Mom's the same way, and I think we're the same way too.
Although we back off a bit.
Yeah,
more.
Well, Mary, she has a passion for everything, and wherever she is, she makes it better. And Tower can only be delighted that she's here because it's always been a great place, but it's better with Mary. Everything's better with Mary. I'm her adopted daughter, but I love whenever she introduces me as her daughter. That's just the best thing ever. And
every midsummer and sing. We're part of the choir that sings for the fundraiser Mary has. And so we've done that for the last 5 or 6 years.
Because Mary makes us.
Because Mary makes us, and we love Mary dearly. You know, we go back about 15 years with Mary and Alex. Alex
Or longer.
just really something. It was such a pleasure for me to get to know him. We all felt really bad when he left us, but what an interesting guy. He really was, and he and Mary together were just a perfect couple. They really are. So
We've traveled with Mary quite a few times, or been on trips that she planned, and because of that, on my birthday, and it's not just a trip because she ensures that you are involved with the local people. So at my last birthday, I received Facebook greetings from Italy, Israel, France, Sweden, Ireland, and Italy.
Mary is wonderful because she
Well-
can bully anybody. She could bully Uro Kekkonen
And
if
you
he
don't
was
even
still
know
alive.
Yeah, she can.
I know.
She'll pick your pocket.
I mean,
without you knowing.
I'm giving her that is meant as high
In
praise
a-
and compliment.
High praise in a positive way.
She
yeah.
has done such a wonderful job with the cultural center. It's phenomenal, and then and was smart enough to bring this guy into it with his expertise, and me, I'm just the mouth, you know.
No, Tommy's quite the historian of the range. You want to know facts and figures about people, individuals, neighborhoods. Tommy knows that. But what's nice about this is, you know, Mary's the type of person that feels like us. I mean, she's really involved in preserving what's good about the Iron Range. There's a lot of pride there and passion. And this hospital, I think, is 1 year newer. I think that the church was 1888 that we moved. I think this is 1889. But I mean, there's a lot of history here. Oliver Iron Mining Company, the hospital here. You think of all the people that were born here, the miners that were injured that came to this hospital. I mean, it's there's a real story here of people and their hard work and dedication to the industry. But Mary's the type of person that feels strongly about we got to preserve this. We got to keep these traditions alive. You can't save every building on the range. The money's not there, but there are a few key buildings, Terry, that I think one should look at and say, this is worth saving. No, you can't save everything, but every community has a few buildings that I think you have to preserve. And if it wasn't for people like Mary, a lot of this stuff would have been destroyed and demolished years ago.
I stayed with Mary and Alex when I was in a transition in my life.
Okay.
And they graciously had me live in their home and their hearts, and they're just the best. I knew Alex, he was my hero and my boyfriend,
Yeah.
as he was everyone's, I think. I had a great memory today of Mary's 70th birthday. And I'm a real prankster. I'm really a prankster at heart.
You are.
And I didn't have a lot of funds to work with for Mary's birthday, but I'm forever having ideas. So I purchased 70 red balloons and blew up 70 red balloons. And I tucked them all in Mary's little bathroom. So the day of Mary's 70th birthday, she had quite a few of her friends up from the Twin Cities. And she was showing their lovely home in Lake Vermilion. And as we went into the basement and were nearing the bathroom, and for some reason she just wasn't pulling open that bathroom door, and I was just waiting for her to do that. And so after some encouraging, she opened the door, and of course these 70 balloons just blew out at her, and she, of course, screamed and then laughed and then said, "Oh, Tootsie!" But it was grand fun, and she saved her balloons, I think, in the bathtub for as long as they held their air. Yeah, we always had fun things going on like that.
But it's true, you don't. She keeps you busy.
Yeah.
She keeps you moving, and that's really exciting.
She's a unique lady, amazing lady. To look at her and think she's celebrating her 80th birthday is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
She's energetic.
She's a mover and a shaker.
And she's a thinker, which is, it's really fun to know what's going on up in her head sometimes when all of a sudden she'll just pull. Last night, for instance, we were sitting and talking about this picture of Israel, and she's describing the gates and this is that, and giving us the whole history of Israel in her pajamas at the dining room table at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
And that's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, sharp as a tack on that trip, too. She was giving us history lessons in the van while we were traveling, just because it was secondary to her. She just knew all about it.
Like, she literally knows everyone around the world. Like, what? Okay, in Normandy, we stayed with this man that Grandma had somehow, like, found connections with.
She knew his kids.
She knew his kids. And he didn't speak any
He didn't
English.
speak a lick of English.
And none of us spoke French, but somehow she just knew him. And she walks, we were like walking and we were all nice and stuff, and he was so nice, and she's just all over him. She's like, "Oh, what was his name?" Albert, thank you so much. And like, even though she couldn't speak French, she was like trying to speak Spanish to him, and she's just like I love Albert.
Broken, fragmented Spanish.
It was so funny.
And she
Wait, didn't she? Or you go on.
She got progressively louder as like there was a more obvious language barrier. So like, the more like confusion there was.
I went on 3 trips with her. The first one to Sweden and Norway, and the second one to Ireland, Wales, and Scotland, and the third one was a cruise ship up in the inland going up into Alaska. So we've had a good time. It's been neat getting to know her. She's a special lady. She really is.
Oh boy.
Extraordinary, fantastic, brilliant, amazing, kind, exemplary. Is that a word?
Exemplary. Don't use such big words.
Sorry, jeez, I'm pulling them out of the archives.
I don't know if I'm going to say something you already said. Compassionate, original.
Because I'll tell you what, that woman, I watched her. When I would go on trips with her with the Bel Canto Voices, I would watch her from afar. And she would manage 60 to 150 kids on a trip. And she would have all these balls up in the air. She'd be juggling about 20 balls. Never dropped one. I was just amazed by that. So my entire life, she still does it to this day. Although some of them gotten really close to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
But she's just an inspiration. She
Her
really
energy.
is.
It's her energy.
Sometimes she
that
runs
just
circles around me.
Amazes me. Yeah. Seriously, the woman is 80 and she just...
Well, she added years
Go,
to
go,
Alex's
go.
life, didn't she?
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And he just adored her.
I was her professor at the University of St. Thomas in Spanish. And it was so funny the first night she came up, and it was the first, and she was a parent on campus, and I knew she was not 20 or 21, and she was in line, and I assumed she was waiting to have her form signed, because the parents on campus fly standby. They go free if they have a student child, and she came up, and instead of having me sign her form, she asked me, she said, "What's your middle name?" And I said, "Marie." And she said, "I knew it. My mother's Dorothy Marie, my sister's Dorothy Marie, and you're Dorothy Marie, and I just know you belong in our family." And, 99% of the world, if not more, would say, "Okay, you're nuts." But it was magic, because my parents were dead. She had no clue. My family was fractured. She absolutely had no clue how desperately I wanted and needed a family. Yeah. And she gave it to me. And there's no greater gift than that. And she saved my life. She absolutely did. So, thank you, Mary. Happy birthday. It's just amazing how special that is. That I've always, it's about love, and family is about where you feel safe and loved and appreciated and accepted and given freedom and latitude. And I've gotten all of that and so much more from you and I, and I hope that Mary in turn has received things from me that she wants and needs, and that she knows I'll always love her with all my heart. I know those times when people just get put together in odd and weird and wonderful and random places. And times I've always called it God playing chess. He just kind of puts somebody, and wow, that's phenomenal. And I thought that about Mary. Just the perfect person at the perfect time, and I needed her, and she was there, and everything I needed and wanted, she provided. And I've talked to other people, and as time has gone on, and it's almost, and I'm not one of these super religious people at all, as Mary well knows, but I actually think she's an agent of God. The way she puts people together and brings people together and just she's a marvelous person, and I think anyone who knows her is richer for it.
And my grandfather worked in the underground mines, and my uncle had the resort on McKinley, and his son Bob, which is my first cousin, was delivered here upstairs in the delivery room, and he was born in 1941. And he just texted me. He lives in upstate New York, and he told me when he was born here, was the first cesarean that ever happened in St. Louis County, and the Dr. Watson didn't know how to do one, and so had to call the Duluth Hospital, and the doctor down there had to instruct him how to do a cesarean section. So he just told me that this morning, because I asked him, I said, was your dad and my dad born here? And we don't know. We don't know if they were born at home or would they have been born here. My dad was born in 1913, and I think his dad was born a little bit earlier than that. So that's my history here.
Very talkative,
loving,
confusion. She's very loving. She loves everyone.
Well, she confuses me for him a lot of times.
Confused. She's not confused.
She's not confused.
She's like the most not confused
organized
80-year-old.
Well, I mean, she has kind of a level of craziness that's passed on to you. So, yeah.
Hey.
Let's not make this part.
Hey, I want to be like Grandma.
She's scatterbrained, but in a nice way, I think. She has the capability.
She's the type of unorganized that always becomes organized eventually. At the right time.
Yeah, she kind of overloads herself with stuff.
No, she doesn't overload herself because she always ends up getting it done, When I was like 5, we were in preschool, and we learned the word cosmopolitan, and we had to like do the vocab cards, and I didn't know what cosmopolitan meant, so I went home and I was like, Mom, what's cosmopolitan? Because we had a vocab quiz the next day.
You had vocab quizzes in preschool?
I mean kindergarten. It was when I was at Capitol Hill. Was that kindergarten?
Oh yeah.
That was first grade.
First grade. Anyway, I was close. But I went home and my mom described it to me, and I'm like, that's Grandma. Because it's like, what is it? Like, there she is. Hi, Grandma, you're cosmopolitan. She's taking a picture.
Yeah.
It's just like people who are worldly and talk to everyone and have friends everywhere. And I was like, that's Grandma.
And
Early enjoyed
Alex
and Mary as well.
Truly, yeah, Erling did as well, my husband. And he worked with Alex on that sleigh that you rose mulled. And I mean, two absolutely delightful people. How can you beat Mary and Alex, truly? And just the type of people that I'm so thankful to have met, because they enrich not only our lives but everyone's lives. And I look at this amazing place and you see her handprint in all of it.
Well, like I said, she's very headstrong. She's smart. Clever. She's driven. She wants the best for us. She wants what's typical of any parent for their children. She wants the best for us. The best that we can get for ourselves.
But I would be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday, Mom. I love you. Happy 80th. You're remarkable. So I hope you're having a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
You feel like you've known her all your life when you just meet her for the first time. Yeah. She's very genuine. Very friendly, very genuine. Can talk you into anything. So I help her out when I can. One of the duties that she had me do was read over the records of the Women's Guild from the St. Mary's Church, starting back in, I think, 1888. And I read those handwritten with brown ink, very difficult to read, and took notes on them. And then I read them to her, and she typed them out on her computer as I was reading them to her, and some of them were published in the Tower paper. So that's, I guess, the only thing I've done to help her with the celebrations.
Well, Mary's she's a very much civic-minded individual. She's the mind behind. She was the major shaker mover behind fundraising for Children's Hospital in Minneapolis, a very renowned hospital. If it hadn't been for Mary, I don't think that hospital would have existed. So that's her specialty, is getting behind some cause, and more often than not, it's something having to do with some kind of charity or cultural thing. Yeah.
I met Mary in 1984. I was working at the Iron Range Interpretative Center, and later became Iron World. And I was reading the paper, and we were having 12 days of ethnic days. Following day was British Day, and I looked in the Grand West paper, and they were talking about this Mary Lufkin, who had brought in the roast male choir from Wales, 100 men choir. And so I found some way to get in contact with her and asked her, is there any way you could bring that choir over here and just sing a couple songs? We could feed them lunch, but we don't have any money to pay them. And so she said, sure. So she brought over the 100 choir, and I've seen them not too long ago when I was in Wales. And so she brought them over, and they have wonderful voices. I think everyone in Wales has this beautiful, beautiful voice. And one of them was really sick, and they had to take him to the Hibbing Hospital, and he had to stay overnight, so he missed the bus back to Minneapolis, and they found out he had alcohol poisoning. The Welsh really like to imbibe, and they love women. So they had a great time traveling around here. So then I went with Mary to Wales, and we went to their place where they have their rehearsal, and they have little windows, and they have to close early. So when it's time for closing, they shut the little curtains, and there's 50 cars in the parking lot. They think that nobody will know that there's all these people inside. But they would be in there on the stage practicing, smoking, everyone's smoking. You couldn't even see them for the blue smoke in there. And then when it's done, it was like a big race to get to the bar. They almost knocked each other over trying to get to the bar. And so they said, Colin Jones is the conductor, and I just asked Mary about him, and he's still alive. And he said, Mona, what do you want to drink? I said, I'll have a vodka lemonade, which is 7-Up. And he goes, give her a double, give her a double. So that was my introduction to their rehearsals in Wales.
Yeah. But fortunately, years later, we came back to the range, and I ended up at Iron World, and Tommy ended up at Iron World, and we had a chance to promote and the heritage of the Iron Range with all the ethnic groups. So we worked together for a few years.
Yes, and he does a wonderful job. He's one of the best.
We both do. Put it this way, we got passion.
He's a professional. He called me a politician.
Well, there's I always thought that I'm a professional. I thought he was a politician. But then after talking with him and working with him, there's no doubt about it. Not only is he political, but he's also professional and passionate. But without praising each other, there's a lot of respect here. But I think what I liked about Tommy is that we didn't fall far from the trees. Our grandparents and our parents were hardworking, good values. You work hard, you're honest, you do the best job you can. We're like that, and we gave that to all the jobs we ever had, whether it was Iron World, Tommy down at the legislature in the house down there at St. Paul. We did this stuff because I think it's those values we inherited from our parents.
And we never drifted far apart because we'd always run into each other. He'd stop with his parents. Tom's lucky. His mom and dad are still alive. They're still in their house. They're 98, 96.
My mother turned 96 last month, and my dad's gonna be 98.
We went to Iceland
Yeah.
with her.
We were
It was our layover for our flight.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Grandma's so funny.
Yeah.
She wore this all purple outfit the day we left. Like, it was completely purple. And she's
Like a
so
purple
cute.
jumpsuit.
She's so cute.
It was like a purple velvet.
Purple velvet jumpsuit.
You can't go wrong with that.
We didn't look touristy at all.
Of course not. Not sticking out
I
like a
loved
sore
her
thumb.
purple. I loved her purple outfit.
The world is her classroom. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, really. And once Mary's involved in something, stuff happens.
Stuff happens, and Mary, you can never say no to. She is
No.
such a phenomenal person. And
She's made me go on the underground.
We were having breakfast one morning, and by the time breakfast was over, I was the chairman of the Gregorian Singers, and it was happened that quick. Yeah, we've got to meet a lot of wonderful people who we can honestly say are friends now, and that's all because of Mary.
Absolutely, he was a terrific guy. One of the smartest men I ever knew.
Really?
As a carpenter, he was excellent. He was a man of great character and conviction. I am probably more introspective than Mary, but as we age, there's still a older brother, younger sister. So, and no matter how old we get, we still think as the younger siblings, as kids. Even though she was just about to become another octogenarian, just like me.
All right.
But I think she's always been involved with people and involved in all kinds of projects and as the elder brother, I think we've always supported each other, and I think it may be partly a Serbian thing, but families are very important. Mm-hmm. And when we were growing up, I think we always kind of looked out for each other in a certain sense.
Well, and the people that Mom has a way of spinning a web. She's like a spider.
Mm-hmm.
She spins this web, and once she planted her ass on Birch Point Road, she just started spinning this web, and she talks and she invites, and like someone said at one of the fundraisers, never get into a car with Mary Batinich. because once you get into a car or a room with her, you're doing something.
Mary makes me laugh probably harder than almost anyone I can think of, and some of her stories I can think of yet from years ago and still will absolutely make me laugh hysterically. And there's one particular one about Feather Blossom. It's a little bit racy, so I won't tell it, but it's a wonderful story.
Well, Mary has the ability too to see things in people more than we might see in ourselves, and to all of a sudden you find yourself doing things you never would have imagined. But she's the kind of person that can make it happen.
But we're very fortunate to be here, and it's just gotten to know her is something, one of the best things that we've shared over the years. So.
And we've gotten to know Anne pretty well, her daughter, and we love her. And
another good friend of ours is Steve Abrahamson, who was the mayor of was the mayor of Tower. He's become a wonderful friend, and his daughter lived with us, met my great nephew, and they're getting married next week.
All of that wouldn't have happened except for Mary.
Well, she spearheads a lot, and like Tommy said, I mean, she knows how to get people to commit and open up their purse strings, because you can't do it without money. But I'll tell you, people are happy to give money when Mary talks to them. Some people are going, "What? I can't give Mary? Hell, they give money to Mary, and they smile. They're happy."
I'm scared not to give her money.
I know. That's about it. So
being her tough Serbian self. A very interesting story. Alex, her recently passed husband, was very good friends with my family on the north side of Virginia, the Rookavinas, and my mother's side, the Mordinis, and in fact, he was at one time in love with my Auntie Laura. And my Auntie Laura died last summer, and Alex would always ask, "How is Auntie Laura? Oh, I just love your Auntie Laura," you know. And then he talked about my grandmother and everything. So it was very interesting when, you know, Mary and Alex hooked up. I'd get to go up and visit Mary, and when, you know, Alex could get a word in edgewise, he'd talk
That's
about,
right. Yeah.
he'd
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
the Mardinis and the Rookavinas,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
so interesting. Of course, Tom and I both knew Alex's first wife too, because she worked on all that Italian stuff.
Yeah,
Mary.
we worked together on a nice exhibit that
Yes.
documented the history of Italians from Duluth up to the Iron Range.
and
that was, I think, a 12-panel exhibit, Italians in northern Minnesota.
Yes.
And so I got to meet her, and she was just really put her whole heart and soul into collecting material and documenting the heritage.
But you
of
could, it was
Italians,
neat to see Mary and Alex together because they did so much together. And I remember being at a fundraiser when the church, before it was moved up right down here, or over there at the edge of Tower, and Alex bidding on those windows, even though he didn't have to bid on the windows, but he bid on the windows for Mary's sake, and was getting other people to jack that price up. I think in the end, I don't know how much he ended up paying, but you know, for a good cause. And there she is.
Yeah.
With my wife. Oh boy.
But it's all good. And like I said,
she's a wonderful lady, and I guess we're lucky to know her.
We're lucky to know her, and thank you, Mary, because Hvala lepa, like they say in Slovenia. Thank you very much for your dedication, your hard work in preserving all the cultures of the range. I mean, she cares deeply about every individual, all cultures, all people on the Iron Range. And God bless you, Mary. Thank you for all your hard work
so
and dedication.
neat for me because I used to be the milkman in Tower for 3 years. And I delivered milk to the Sedan store and got to meet all those old Slovenians and Finns. And then I delivered here when this was it was like a nursing home kind of assisted living thing at the time. So it's wonderful to see her preserve these buildings. She's just a great lady.
She's done a beautiful job. Yeah.
So we say, we say, Hvala lepo, kitoksia palion.
And I say,
thank you very much.
Hvala lepa, odlično. Thank you, excellent.
So my favorite story about Alex is we were in Arizona, and we had gone to play golf at the little neighborhood golf course, and we played 18 holes, and we had the three of us, John, Pops, and I were taking turns with the cart. Obviously, Pops was always in the cart, and then John and I would rotate, either pulling the pull cart or riding in the riding cart. And we played our 18 holes, and I think he was 91 at the time. And we were tired, but still felt pretty good, and we decided that we would go back to the house, which is a few blocks away, have a little snack, and then go back and play 9 more holes. And so when we drove the golf cart back, we left our clubs, and the pull cart, I should say. And so John made drinks, and I made a couple sandwiches, and Pop said, let's go back in 10 minutes. And so we finally sat down after making our sandwiches and drinks, and we were just sitting there pretty much ready to die. It was just hot, and we were tired. And literally 10 minutes later, Pops walks around, it's been 10 minutes, let's go. And we went and played 9 more holes of golf.
And he was 90?
I think he was 91.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
And
And
Alex.
Pops just
They
loved,
just,
he
yeah.
just he was
You just reach out
like I
to-
said at his his memorial. He was the father we never had. In fact, I got a tattoo in his honor. To me, he impacted my life so incredibly. Boom! 2 weeks after he was gone, I knew in an instant what I wanted to get.
So we could find her.
Grandma really doesn't care what people think about her.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I
doesn't
mean-
care at all. I love it.
You can find these three because she's always wearing a bun and they're always wearing their hair out.
Grandma's so herself
Don't
that
most
it's
people do
like
that.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I love it because she just doesn't care
Yeah.
what anyone else thinks. It's like I'm gonna wear my purple jumpsuit.
I knew Grandpa all my life, and like he's the one who gave me the car that I drive, and it's a behemoth in the kindest of ways.
The
and
boat.
It's a what?
It's a behemoth.
It's a big thing.
It's a big old Cadillac, and every time I drive it, it reminds me of him and like how much he cared about us. And like it's sad that he's gone, but he lived a really full life.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Knows.
Probably some really crazy
She
place.
told me she's been to Europe over 150 times.
Well, she used to run a traveling company.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mary has always been involved with people. I remember when our mother, Marie Smilenich Day, but Mary was involved with the Children's Hospital and involved with people and this, that, and the other thing. I like to do my little bit for humanity because, our father would, our mother and father would always say you're as good as your word. You do what you say what you do, and that type of thing. Mother was always, and Mary inherited this, had a helping gene. You see something, you want to help people. Well, it's not that I'm the rugged frontiersman or anything, but I've always been more concerned with trying to be capable, trying to do things. Maybe in my lifetime I've helped maybe 30 people get their car started or help them with a flat or something like that. But Mary wants to help people all the time. And that's why the mayor of Minneapolis had Maria Smilenich Day one time.
Yeah.
But Mary was involved in all of those projects, and she's always been of that mind and bent.
Yeah.
Well, the doctor that delivered me was a personal friend of my parents as well. Dr. Watson was his name, and this was his first hospital, first practice right out of med school. And he lived here in this building with his family. There was an apartment that the whole family lived in. His daughter and son were personal friends of mine when we grew up. They moved from here to have a practice in Minneapolis, a very thriving practice there, and they lived on Cedar Lake in Minneapolis. But they came back to Lake Vermilion every summer and rented a cabin that was just down the shore from the cabin that my parents owned. And so that was really special. And then to know that my grandpa and my great uncle were here as miners and worked in that mine, and this was owned by the mine at that time. They employed the doctor, they served the people that worked in the mine, and that was it. So the fact that Mary is restoring this and hanging on to it, as well as the cultural center, which was my family church, that all has huge meaning to me, that it's being saved. And the church was named St. Mary's Church, and my grandfather's church in Kellington, Cornwall, England was also St. Mary's Church. It was Church of England, and this is Episcopal.
Give her a crowd, and she'll go to every single one and make them feel welcome, and she could even get them to do work for her.
She's really good at that.
Yeah. But we love it.
We get enlisted to volunteer and do work.
Hey.
We're with her, but we do it because we love her. Yeah.
Well, my teachers at school, if they use the term victim, but she never does. What? No, the teachers at school, when they refer to a volunteer, they refer to them as a victim.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Victims of Mary Batinich.
Oh, yeah.
You can say that.
When we were in Europe, Grandma, it was it was cute, but it was kind of sad. She's like, I just see Grandpa everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single place we went to, she's like, I'm going to stay in the car. First of all, she's 80, but she's still going to Europe, so I don't know, doing everything. Secondly, she's tired. And third, because she saw Grandpa there. That's all she could think about.
And it was right after she passed, too. The strength of character. He.
It was for sale, and Mary didn't want to see it be dissolved and done, so she took it on. I'm pleased that she was able to buy it and keep it and restore it and have it still going. Very important.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday. Love you.
10-year age difference.
What kind of careers do you guys have?
We're both social workers. we give Mom a hard time
Actually,
about that because a long time ago on something she wrote, she said, both my daughters are social workers and really.
Well, we kind of are. We kind of are. My
Right.
degree's in human services.
Mine's alcohol and drug
drug counseling. So I was burnt out. Yeah, actually, recently I changed my career. Yeah. No, I'm a groundskeeper, landscaper, maintenance for the state of Minnesota. Yep, at the Department of Vehicle Services for the Department of Public Safety in Arden Hills.
Oh, 16, that's when I topped out. I knew everything, and then somehow around 16, I realized maybe I don't know everything.
I told my mom when we went to Europe on a trip, I said, Mom, you're not my mother. I don't know you. So don't claim me as your child. And she said, okay.
Yeah.
And then I ran out of money
Did
in
you ever
Europe.
tell her?
And I'm like, Mom.
You told her you
wait,
hated
I'm
her
not your dog.
once. Right.
Yeah, I told her I was the only one of us 4 kids that said, Mom, I hate you.
Yeah.
And she said, well, why do you hate me? Oh, I'm so glad. I said, why? And she said, because you're the only one of my 4 children that told me that you hated me.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. And
That's
I
a
said,
special
well,
milestone.
yeah, I said, she goes, I'm so glad. Because all the psychologists say that one of your children is supposed to tell you they hate you.
People are falling into
And
the
I
walls.
said, don't guilt me.
Go away! Maybe we should have done this
Anyway,
before
so
people
I
had
said,
so
don't
much to
guilt
drink.
me.
Is that the way it's worked with her kids too? That
Yes.
She knew what was going to work?
Well, it depends. I think it depends.
Ooh, I've got a leak. Wait, I'll tilt. I'll tilt and drink.
There's a dish right there.
Use the antiques. What was the I
Good,
think
the
that,
break is on this side.
that depends on.
I didn't realize that question shook you up.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Shook up.
Thinking
Yeah,
is that placement of the microphone's a little odd.
Well, it works.
Yeah. Is that a microphone?
I'm not gonna say. Stop it.
It is.
These dolls creep me out. You know, I went this past summer. I went to one. No, wait. I went to one, and I went to one other one. So
That's a really good microphone.
just
too.
what it is.
Your shirt is very checkered.
It is. You know, my wife said, you got to put this on. Camera
I'm
doesn't
trying to focus on your
No,
face
the
and
camera.
your checkered shirt. What he represented, and Mom's like, oh my God! Because I got one for Baba too, when Baba died. I got
Tattoo.
Forget-me-nots.
Did she call it tacky?
Yeah, she goes, oh my God.
That's one of her
I
favorite
said,
words.
Mom, it's
She doesn't
subtle,
like
don't
my-
worry. That's not subtle. Oh my God. And that's why I get one for Pops. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's in such an obvious spot. That's not subtle. I said, you know what, Mom? It doesn't matter.
She was a good, loving parent, but her business was travel. So she was gone a lot. So our house was kind of the party house.
We were running out on the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
We were running. That's why
you guys
that's why
were
my-
running out on the Russian.
That's why my grandfather left. I'm not fighting in that freaking war
Yeah.
for them.
Who the heck
Yeah.
just told me? Oh, there's Gene. Who
Yeah.
told me yesterday? My
Are
grandpa.
you recording right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Then maybe we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Rukavina.
Dobro večer. Tu je Tomáš Miersersha, sem Ruski Slovenec. Tuki.
Ja sam Rukavina Tome. Ja sam pola Tilijanac I pola Hrvat.
Odlično.
Yeah, odlično. Yeah, okay. Tom Rukavina.
Tom Sersha.
Sure.
So my kids are half Finn. I always tell them that's why mermaids are so beautiful, because they're half Finn. Well, this guy is one of the best music. I mean, for making things, he's an artist. He's got a master's degree in what, museum management?
Museology. Like I always said, I can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Just give me a little chicken shit, okay? Then we can do a lot with it, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, our mom
Yes.
and dad are here.
My mom.
Actually, Mom left.
Oh yeah, she did. She's at the
Yeah.
casino.
So
They're here physically. They're not.
Our
You're too-
parents.
Over and
Smile.
over again.
There she is.
She gets what she
Okay.
wants.
Yeah.
Just the awkward smile.
I loved it. That was beautifully put.
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. Happy 80th. You're remarkable. So I hope you're having a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday. Love you.